And now speaking of another person who is not above the law. Oh my goodness. And another person who is a borderline psychopath. And you will read her explanation as to what went down in comparison to video footage of what went down. And her explanation of how she's a victim is going to read like James Comey. It all started. How did I just get arrested for walking on a beach? Rep LaMonica McIver. First of all, the fact that her last name is McIver, McGruber. It would have been better if it was McGruber. But Rep LaMonica McIver. I also want to know the order. I mean, why the capital M is what I've always wanted, and the capital I. So it's LMMI. Okay, whatever. Proudly representing, proudly, New Jersey's 10th congressional district. Listen to this. My statement on charges filed against me. McIver. This week on McIver. Issues statement on charges. Newark, New Jersey. Congresswoman LaMonica McIver released the following statement responding to charges brought against her. Quote, earlier this month, I joined my colleagues to inspect the treatment of ICE detainees at Delaney Hall in my district. We were fulfilling our lawful oversight responsibilities as members of Congress have done many times before, and our visit should have been peaceful and short. Instead, ICE agents created an unnecessary and unsafe confrontation when they chose to arrest Mayor Baraka. The charges against me are purely political. They mischaracterize and distort my actions and are meant to criminalize and deter legislative oversight. This administration will never stop me from working for the people in our district, illegal aliens, it's kind of odd actually, and standing up for what is right. I am thankful for the outpouring of support I have received, and I look forward to the truth being laid out clearly in court. We all do, McIver. In case you didn't know what the incident is, let me pull up a little video of it. I was just doing what my duties are of inspecting ICE agencies, and it was the ICE agents who created the unsafe situation. It's not to say the police have the right to arrest whomever they want. It's their job to prevent trespass, prevent law breaking, and if you disagree with them detaining you or arresting you, well, the time to fight that is later in court and not there on the scene with your fists and elbows, McIver. You want to stand with Rep McIver all you want, just be careful about standing in front of her. That's fair. Who's Bricksuit? Oh, I know who Bricksuit is. Yeah, I met Bricksuit a bunch of times. Okay, cool. And here's the video. That's McIver. McIver's let himself go these days, but that's a little elbow shove. That's the one where I said, ambiguous. Getting less ambiguous. That's the one that is not ambiguous. That's assault, brother. And now we're back to the beginning. That's assault. Touch her boob. That's assault, brother. First person to get that reference, well, that was an easy one. Yeah, that's assault, McIver. And now you're going to get charged and you'll have your day in court. Of course, depending on the district, they will either acquit a guilty ham sandwich or convict an innocent ham sandwich. The guy who had Baraka had his charges dropped against him. Baraka, I think, was trespass, if I'm not mistaken, and LaMonica is assault. So one of them is objectively more serious than the other. The federal trespassing charge against Newark Mayor Ross Baraka has been dismissed after his arrest outside an Immigration and Customs ICE facility. U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, Alina Habba, just announced Monday. I would imagine, actually, that maybe a mayor couldn't federally trespass. Maybe there has to be some exception there. While the case against Baraka was dropped, Habba announced her office has charged Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, who was at the ICE facility when the mayor was taken into custody. Baraka's arrest happened on May 9th. Okay, After extensive consideration, we've agreed to dismiss Mayor Baraka's misdemeanor charge of trespass for the sake of moving forward. I agree with that decision. I'm glad the U.S. attorney has agreed this case should be dismissed. Yada, yada, says Baraka. Okay, now, Baraka, a Democrat currently running for governor of New Jersey, has criticized the ICE facility housing migrants in the city. Migrants, illegal aliens. I'm representing my constituents, except they're illegal aliens. He and others have argued that it's dangerous and illegal, and that private company that signed the contract with ICE blocked inspections and did not obtain permits. Okay, well, there's a way to go about that without assaulting officers. Let's get to Rep LaMonica McIver, says protests are purely political. Habba, a longtime ally of President Trump. She's awesome, by the way. I met her at the White House. There are some people in the administration who instill a great degree of confidence, and she is absolutely one of them, said she charged McIver for assaulting, impeding, and interfering with law enforcement during the Delaney Hall incident. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem issued a statement saying the decision to charge McIver came after, quote, a thorough review of the video footage of Delaney Hall. Yeah, we just saw it. McIver, also a Democrat, denied the charges as purely political. Well, it's a good thing we have video, and it's a good thing we have eyeballs, McIver. So enjoy your day in court. Claiming it's purely political makes you a purely political idiot. The idiot responses to this. Who's going to be idiots in response to McIver being arrested? Ted Lieu is a guaranteed... These people are stupid. I should rephrase. They can't be that stupid. They are just pathological liars. I don't trust any politicians, but you can bet sure as sugar, statistically, Democrats are the most pathologically dishonest of the politicians, who are already, generally speaking, very dishonest. And throw in the liberals with them too. Ted Lieu says, I love it. I love it in that I hate it. We put the clapping in, Ted. We will not be intimidated. Oh, I replied to it with the meme from Liar, Liar. Quit breaking the law, asshole. It's not complicated. And this is not breaking the law like they said Trump broke the law. This is actually on footage breaking the law. Just imagine Donald Trump had ever said 86 Comey, 86 40s. I know other troll accounts on Twitter said it, whether or not it was a snark response to, what's-her-face, Gretchen Whitmer saying 86 45. Just imagine Trump had stood up there at the rotunda or wherever it was that he gave his speech and said 86 46, 86 Biden, 86 James Comey. Do you know how fast James Comey would have remembered what 86 means? Just imagine that there was video footage of Donald Trump punching Nancy Pelosi. It would be hilarious. I'm sure there's going to be someone who does an AI now. Imagine there's a video of Donald Trump punching officers, shoving off. I mean, it's so absurd. But Ted Lieu, we will not be intimidated. Well, you know what? Intimidated or not, quit breaking the law, asshole, and maybe you won't have problems. What do you say here? You mean all the criminals could... Oh, yeah, then in response to his stupid tweet, he goes and compares it to the Jan 6ers. Don't assault police officers and you won't have a problem. And then he says, you mean like all the criminals who assaulted police officers on Jan 6 and got pardoned? You know, to which I had to reply, the guys, there's no getting through to them. There's only just the odd chance that you might get through to someone who watches them or, in the replies. So, it's interesting. Is McIver locked up in pretrial detention having been denied bail? Has McIver had her due process violated? Has McIver had exculpatory evidence withheld from her by authorities yet? If the answers to those questions are no, she doesn't deserve a pardon, and you're an absolute idiot, Ted. Idiot! Truly the biggest idiot on Twitter, like truly pathologically stupid or pathologically dishonest or both. Yeah, you want to compare it to the pardons. And I was not slow, reluctant, but I could understand the argument at first. Well, you can't pardon the violent Jan 6ers. That was 4 years ago. When you realize what was denied by even the violent protesters by way of due process, hiding exculpatory evidence, abusive detainment, abusive denial of reasonable bail, constitutional violations galore, being rushed to trial without exculpatory evidence having been disclosed to them, excessive punishment for their alleged crimes. And then we found out in due course, the provocation by police. Sorry, anybody making that analogy is an idiot who deserves to be mocked forever. So feel free to borrow that argument for any idiot who wants to try to compare this to Jan 6, the pardon of the violent Jan 6ers. Yeah, don't violate due process to get convictions against guilty people, and they won't get out of prison even if they were guilty in the first place.